Hey, welcome to chapel, everybody. Today I have the great pleasure to introduce to you another senior reflection this year. He stands at a solid 6'6", my good friend Noah Sall. So if you could, please give him your full attention and listen to what he has to say.
Hey guys. Great, so I'm already putting some of you to sleep, it sounds like. Today I want to share my story with you guys. My life hasn't been one full of large struggles or tough decisions that's led me here today. It's actually been what I think some people would call a cookie cutter life. I was raised in a Christian home with loving parents. I went to church, Sunday school, youth group, and all that other fun stuff. I went to Grand Haven Christian through the 3rd grade until my dad got a job at Moline Christian as the principal. That's where I went from 4th to 8th grade, and I lived a pretty standard life. So that leads me here. I've been here for over 3.5 years, which I think is crazy. I was a freshman like 3 weeks ago, I swear. So to all of you underclassmen, buckle up and don't blink, because you'll miss out on the fun of high school. So far, everything I've said has seemed pretty standard, right? You might be wondering, why is Noah up here wasting my time? His story's pretty normal. Well, that's kind of what I thought when I caught myself doing one of these things in Christian ministries, volunteering to give a senior reflection. All of a sudden, I looked around, my arm was up. My brain's like, what are you doing? Your story doesn't have anything special. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that having a story like that may be exactly what some of you guys can relate to. I hope all of you will take something from it today. So without further ado, let's start from the beginning. June 5, 1999, at 12:50 a.m., yours truly was born in Holland Hospital to Kevin and Christine Sall. I was just your typical baby, except for one thing. I had a big head. The doctors at the hospital made me stay for tests to see if I had water or fluid in my head or brain or something like that. The test came back and the results were like, nope, he's just got a big head. My relieved parents left the hospital with their precious firstborn son, and we went home. Although we moved houses a few times, my early years were all spent in Zeeland, Michigan. While we lived there, I attended Grand Haven Christian School, like I said earlier, and on the first day of kindergarten, I met the guy I would call my best friend until I left. His name was Matthew Anderson. He was a short South Korean boy who was adopted as a baby. For 4 years, we played in the sandbox, on the slides, and on the kickball diamond. I slept over at his house many times, and his really cool parents always let us rent video games or took us to Lake Michigan, which was about 5 minutes away from his house. He was my very first best friend. We were inseparable. So when my parents told me we were going to be moving, I was heartbroken. I was leaving behind my best friend and moving to a town in the middle of nowhere. For those of you that don't know about Moline, let me quickly educate you. Farms. That's it. You now know all that there is to know. Farms. So with 3 younger siblings in tow and a 4th one coming soon, I left everything I knew in lovely, normal Zeeland, Michigan for Farm Town, USA, or Moline. As I was saying about younger siblings, I have 3 younger brothers and a younger sister, and yes, she's the baby of the family. Save your pity, she can be a 5th boy almost all the time. They are some of my closest friends, which is good, considering I see them every day. Gideon is a sophomore here. He's in the front row, right there. Put your hand up. Who constantly seems to have a flock of girls following him everywhere around school. Kidding aside, I've grown really close to him. When we were younger, we fought a lot, and of course I kicked his butt. But as we've gotten a little bit older and a little bit more mature, I hope, I've realized that I have a special relationship with him. I often tell him really personal things, and I know that I can trust him with anything. I don't tell him enough, but I really love him, and he's very special to me. Tristan is an 8th grader at Moline this year. I think he's sitting in the back somewhere. And I'm really thankful for him because he and I share many of the same interests. Saturday mornings are spent watching soccer games together on TV, while we spend the rest of the day playing video games, basketball, football, all that normal fun guy stuff. Basically, if it's a sport with a ball, we're in, and we get everyone else to play with us too. I love his wit and his quick brain. He's a real whiz, and he can be really serious at times. I speak from personal experience. Don't tickle him, or he'll hate you. Next year, he'll be roaming these halls, probably looking a little lost. So give him a lock or shove from me, okay? Just kidding, don't do that. I don't need to have Mr. Vince D tracking me down at college because I'm promoting violence or anything like that, so please avoid that. My little brother Wyatt is well known for terrorizing local basketball courts and soccer fields in the Dorr and Wayland area. He's in 4th grade this year and just turned 10 years old last month. He's such a sweet kid who never wants to see fighting or anger. People say we look a lot alike, but I don't really know. He might be the biggest goof in the entire world, and I love how quick he is to bring a smile to a room, even if that means passing gas, which he does a lot. He has an infectious laugh, but don't let that smile deceive you. He's a fierce competitor, and he spends a lot of time outside, shooting hoops, playing soccer, and just enjoying himself. I love how much joy he finds in the little things, like it being above freezing so he can shoot hoops, or when winter comes because he loves the snow. His sense of wonder makes me hope that I can find joy in all the little things like he does. Last but not least is my little sister Taya. She's the sweetest little girl ever. She loves crafts and making little gifts for our family. She brings so much light to our family and just lifts people's spirits. She can be a girly girl and play dolls or house with her friends, but when there's a soccer ball around, look out. Her opponents in Wayland ASO found out really fast that if they took the ball from her, they were writing their own wills. She would literally run them over. Just like the rest of us, she's super competitive and wants to win all the time. Naturally, with all this will to win, games at my house ranging from Monopoly to pick up basketball become very competitive very quickly, which my parents love so much. Not gonna lie, I almost broke my toe kicking a couch after I lost a game of FIFA to Tristan. My parents have told us many times we just need to chill out, but I think they're partially to blame too. My mom, Christine, is a pure red-blooded Canadian. Hailing from the Great White North, she comes to as many of our games as she physically can, and she brings what I like to call her hockey voice. I know she cheers loudly because she loves all of us, but it can be a little much sometimes. I remember one time in middle school, while I was playing soccer, I shoulder checked a kid off the ball, probably because he was getting on my nerves. All of a sudden I hear, "Noah James," yelled across the field, right at me. I looked over at her and I put a finger on my lips and told her to zip it right in the middle of the game. Not my finest hour, but it showed that both she and I can get a bit intense when it comes to competition, and don't even get me started on card games with her family. What a bunch of cheaters. In all honesty, my mom is the most caring woman in the world. She treats me so well, even when I don't deserve it, and I want her to know that I love her a lot. My dad, Kevin, was raised in the Holland, Zeeland area his whole life. He played basketball at Holland Christian, and I have to say, he was pretty good. He played varsity ball for 3 years, and he was one of the best players in the area. He was a big guy back then, too, a lot bigger than me, but that's not saying a whole lot. Even though he was pretty good, I like to think I'm a way better shooter than him. All I have to do is actually shoot in a game and show you guys that I can do it. He went to Trinity Christian College, where he played basketball, too. However, he had a couple major reconstructive ankle surgeries, and that was about it. While recovering, he would hang out with his friends and play cards at night. And little did you know it, guess who got invited to play cards? If you said my mom, congrats, you're a genius. Long story short, they fell in love, it was beautiful, and they got married. Yay! My dad is one of my most important people. He's always there for me after a bad game or a grade to pull me up and get me going again. He's someone I know I can rely on, and he's one of my best friends. I love him, and I'm so thankful for him. He's the man I want to be someday, although I can't say I envy his job. He devotes many hours to making Moline Christian a place people want to send their kids, and he's done a really great job. When I first got to Moline, things could have started a little bit better. Young me was very shy, but like I said, when it comes to sports, I can lose my head a little bit sometimes. My second day at Moline, I was invited to play football with my classmates. Things were going great. I had made a couple of catches from the super popular Zach Hahn. Right, wherever you are, buddy, you're super popular. And I was having a lot of fun. Then all of a sudden, a dispute broke out between Logan DeVries and me. I don't even remember why, but what I do know was I hit him. And in 10 seconds, I found myself in the principal's office. And in case you forgot, that's my dad. He talked to Logan and me, and he dismissed Logan. After he left, I sat there staring at my dad, pretty much soaking my pants. He looked me dead in the eye with disappointment, and he said, "Really?" And my heart sunk. I felt so bad. It was one of those, I'm not mad, just disappointed parent moments that totally sucks. A few weeks later, I made my second and final disciplinary visit, which may or may not have involved cheating on a Bible memory test. My dad wasn't disappointed then. No, he was mad. And I promised in tears I would never be in there ever again. Thankfully, I came through with my end of the promise, and for the next 5 years, any visits to the principal's office only involved saying hi and grabbing some candy. As I settled into life at Moline, I was blessed to find a new best friend, and someone who I consider a friend for life. Brennan Osterhair and I became super close. He was one of the most kind and sincere people you could ever meet, and he still is today. He's had a really positive influence on my life. At my house, he's affectionately known as Son O, and I am Son Sall at his. He is someone I know I can trust all the time, and he's always going to be there for me. We spent many weekends shooting hoops, riding bikes, hunting with our BB guns, and just having a good time. I'm super thankful for him, and I'm grateful to call him one of my best friends, and I look forward to our future together. After my run-ins with the big man at Moline, I began to find my groove, and I really enjoyed my time there, except for 7th grade, because my whole class, me included, were super awkward. But hey, that's middle school. Other than that, I had a really great time at Moline. I played literally every sport I could. Fall was soccer, in the winter it was basketball, and the springtime was dominated by baseball and track. My 8th grade year was a lot of fun. I was the go-to guy on our soccer team, which doesn't say a whole lot. We finished an awesome 1-1-12. But hey, I scored 11 goals, so it wasn't all that bad. Except for when we played any school not named Adams. Then we were in trouble. Basketball was a lot of fun. My dad coached, and we ended up losing the toilet bowl at South to Bayern Christian, which still sometimes gets talked about by guys from our 2 schools, remembering the good old days. Of course, as soon as basketball season finished that year, I grew 6 inches, and all of a sudden, baseball was a whole new game. My strike zone was massive. My pants never fit, so you can imagine what that looked like. My body was literally just sticks with a head on top. I can hear some of you guys saying in your head, well, what's changed? Honestly, not a whole lot. I'm still pretty skinny, but hey, I bet I can reach shelves you guys can't. I graduated from Moline, top of my class, yay me, and I look forward to high school with excitement. I played soccer, basketball, and baseball my freshman year, and I had a lot of fun, and I made a lot of friends. But even in all this, I struggled to find my place, my group. I didn't know who to hang out with. I had met a lot of people. I just wasn't really developing relationships past, I play on a sport with him. I wandered from group to group, struggling to fit in. But if there's one thing I can say, it's that finding relationships, good ones, can sometimes take time. High school is about being yourself and learning to embrace that. I wouldn't let people see me the way I was and the way I still am today. When I decided to let my walls fall down, I found my true friends. Some people say video games are a distraction. Probably most of you teachers would say that. But for me, they've played a pretty big role in my life. Through similar interest in gaming, I met and developed a friendship with someone I'm so thankful to call one of my best friends, and that's Tyler Mail. We've spent way too many nights staying up until 2 or 3, playing FIFA, and watching The Office or YouTube videos. He's one of the most opinionated, funny guys I've ever met, and I'm very thankful for him. Through our friendship, I grew closer to a basketball teammate of mine, Alec Wallstra. Last spring, we went to Hilton Head, South Carolina together, and it was quite the interesting trip. About this, I was trying to find a picture of Tyler. We've been friends for like 3 years. We never taken a picture together. So, yeah, there's that. So, where was I? Last spring, we went to Hilton Head, South Carolina together, and it was quite the interesting trip. I was sick about 80% of the time. Through all my troubles, Alec was just willing to spend time with me and help me feel better. Even when I had a double eye infection, stomach infection, all that other fun stuff. We became masters at blending milkshakes, as well as regular competitors in horse at the court outside our apartment where I could actually walk around. I know I have a true friend in him who truly cares about how I'm feeling. The benefit of letting my walls fall down and making friends with people who accept me for who I am has helped reassure me. I know my friends will be there to pick me up when I fall down, and they'll pump me right back up. That's my challenge to you. Are the people you spend time with now people you know will be with you when times get tough? Do they know the real you? If they don't, I'm not saying you need to just dump them. You need to show them the real you, even if it means just a little bit at a time. The biggest thing I've learned in high school is that you need to find people who know the real you. I know I've already said that, but it's really important, especially if you're in a relationship with a boyfriend or girlfriend. They need to know you, all of you. This is my girlfriend, Shelby. She and I are kind of weird, if you can't tell that already. We have a really good relationship, though, even though we both look slightly crazy in each picture. Maybe that's why we get along so well now that I think about it. We both know all the little secrets the other has, and we know that it only helps us. It can be hard, but exposing your heart to people helps you truly see that they care about you, whether they're your girlfriend, your best friend, your teacher, anyone like that. To wrap it up, before I put all of you to sleep, I want to stress one thing. High school is a journey. Everyone explores it in their own way. It's going to be hard sometimes, I'm not going to lie to you, and we'll all run into walls. We're not perfect. It happens. Relationships may get hurt. Things might go off track. Turn to your friends, your family, your teachers, but more importantly, turn to God. He'll carry you through your struggles. A verse that is always close to my heart is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. When things aren't clicking with your girlfriend, boyfriend, best friend, your parents, your siblings, remember that God is here, and he will hold you when things are challenging, and even when they're not. And that reminds me, and I hope it reminds you too, that God doesn't make cookie-cutter people, and he doesn't give cookie-cutter stories. Instead, we're each uniquely made in his image, and as we share our stories, we learn more and more to become the people he has called us to be. The song Hard Love by Need to Breathe says it perfectly. The chorus talks about holding on to God when things are hard, and to get up and press forward. When life gets hard, turn to God. Turn to those true friends. Thank you for listening to me today, and enjoy Hard Love by Need to Breathe.